स्टेनो टाइपिंग कॉलेज में आप सभी का स्वागत है बच्चों। ये आपकी डिक्टेशन नंबर 111 वेबसाइट पे इसको लगा दिया गया है। पहले इसको अच्छे से लिखें, पढ़ें, फिर इसको टाइप कर दें। डिक्टेशन स्टार्ट आफ्टर 5 सेकेंड। सर, टर्निंग टू द appropriation bill, there are 4 items that I wish to call attention to. One is item number 41, under which rupees 6,000 crores are being transferred to the state. This is as a result of the recommendations of the 7th Finance Commission, which we had an occasion to review and so on. In spite of this very large devolution which is taking place, what we find is that the budgetary deficit of the states is nearly double. The minister is well aware of this. I think the Reserve Bank has reviewed this growing deficit, and it is an occasion when we should also express our concern and desire for more careful fiscal management on the part of the state, so that we do not add to the deficit we are forced to have in the central budget. The second point is about defense. I know defense is a sacred cow, especially today in view of the insecurity that the Indian Ocean being in a mess. It is difficult to talk about defense matters, and I am not talking about these. But I want to ask the finance minister whether they put the defense ministry through the same financial scrutiny as you are doing in the case of other ministries. I think this assurance we must have, because there is a large sum of money that we are appropriating, and they must also be subjected to scrutiny. The third is in reference to item 2 covering agriculture. On this, my first comment is that our food grains, our agricultural production is estimated to the in a good condition. But looking at what we are producing, especially in the areas of food grains, jute, cotton and sugarcane, I feel the 6th plan targets on the need to be reviewed. They seem to be somewhat modest compared to the satisfactory food and agricultural production that is going to result this year. Now I have to point out to the declining trend in wheat procurement. In fact, the Ministry of Agriculture has sent out a circular to the state governments saying that they are no longer going to make available wheat and food grains under the Food for Work program, and that the state governments would have to procure the same for themselves. The second thing is that we are producing more and more food, but according to the figures given by the Ministry of Agriculture, the amount of wastage of food grains every year is increasing. We are wasting 10 to 12% of food grains. This is worth about rupees 1,000 crores and represents a heavy loss to the nation. So my second comment is in relation to the figures that have been published this morning about the number of small and marginal farmers in the country and the amount of net and gross irrigated land. When I spoke about it this morning, the Minister of Agriculture brushed it aside. Sir, I rise to draw the attention of the Finance Minister to some vital points regarding the state of West Bengal. Broadly, we know that this government's entire budgets in the last 34 years have been stressing that through deficit financing and such budgets you cannot do good to the people. This has been proved by the jungle of figures. The budgets have miserably failed. Still, they have been winking the people by telling them sometimes of socialism and sometimes about removal of poverty. By these slogans, they are maintaining the budgets and giving more and more to the capitalist section, making the poor poorer. It does not require any statistics to prove it. Now, it is common knowledge that 60% of the people are living below the starvation line level and only 25 families are actually ruling. The national wealth is concentrated in their hands. This is due to the defective budget. This is due to the budget being oriented towards capitalist economy. For the betterment of the capitalist, I would like to draw the attention of the minister to the fact that in West Bengal, in mopping up the resources, the central government has taken up 50% of the total revenue resources collected. But the Planning Commission says that you must also mop up resources for social and economic development of the states. Sir, according to the Planning Commission formula, if we are to make economic and social development, we have to take overdraft, we have to take permission. At that time, we are faced with the threat overdraft will not be allowed, then nobody would pay. We are placed in such a position that you take away the resources to which we are entitled to, and also you do not give us our part for social and economic development of the state. You will be surprised to know that from 1962, no new industry has been set up in West Bengal. At that time, it was their government which was there. Out of the total resources of the whole country, we contribute 50%, but we are not given back any proper resources for social and economic development or for the development of industry. This time only a token amount of 29 crores has been given. Sir, we introduced the food for work program for the lean session so that the landless laborers can have this benefit. But due to some sort of trickery, it has been practically discontinued. We are told that accounts have not been settled. Lastly, there is the workers' problem. You have seen in the case of LIC employees what the government is doing. There is some increment somewhere, but there is no fixation of prices at the all India level. On the contrary, you do not allow the transfer of wheat and rice from one state to the other state. इस क्लास में इतना ही बच्चों, नमस्कार बच्चों।